G'day everyone, it's Sailor MB here. This clip is going to be demonstrating the absolute peak of my Sea of Thieves performance. This is me, solo on a sloop, PvP in an enemy galleon with 4 pirates on it. This is the craziest thing I have ever done on Sea of Thieves, so far. The anticipation and the adrenaline that was pumping through my body this entire fight, I had difficulty aiming the cannons and aiming my weapons because I was shaking so much. This is the first time I've ever properly engaged an enemy galleon when I've been solo, so I don't 100% know what to do. So I do a few passes very similar to this one here, where I just go in, waste a few chain shots, knock their mast downs, but it's given me information about the enemy crew, so even though it doesn't immediately eventuate to anything, it's telling me that I can beat these guys. The only way you can win 1v4, really, is if the other people are newer than you, and that's okay. The only way you can win outnumbered fights is either surprising people or they're worse than you, and I didn't surprise these guys, so the only way I can win is because I've played hundreds of more hours from them, but it's still incredibly difficult. So I get on their ship and just kind of mess around. I'm still not great at sword to sword or gunplay combat. It's definitely something I need to work on, as is well demonstrated by jumping into the middle of 3 pirates and thinking something's gonna happen there. So it doesn't work for me immediately, but it's given me information. I think these guys are beatable. Out of my friends, I'm probably the primary helmsman, so that's where I have the most advantage here. Ignoring the fact I ran into a rock, that was because I was respawning, and it's definitely not my fault. But I have a lot of experience helming ships and getting that good positioning going, so I'm going to keep trying that. So this is my second pass at them. I use some more cannon shots, but I do knock a mast down again, but they do have an awkward little angle on me here, so I'm going to get repaired, or at least bailed, so to reduce the risk of if I die something would happen, and one of them does get on, but I got my blunderbuss, which is good defense, and he just jumped straight into it. And again, their ship is just peeling off to the side instead of keeping the pressure on me. So I drop an anchor to turn around and see if I can keep pressuring them instead, at the time when they should have been pressuring me. After sailing around for a bit, I realized I need to use the environment to my advantage. I'm not really making any progress, just knocking their sails down in the middle of the ocean. So we're next to this island here that has a lot of rocks dotted around the outside. So I'm going to try and use these to my advantage to funnel the ship into a specific spot. So I set up here as my first attempt. It doesn't end up working too well because you can see on the left hand side of the player galleon, on their left hand side, they still have a significant amount of space to turn around and go behind me. But that's not terrible either, because the sloop doesn't take full holes in the back. So it doesn't matter how many times they shoot me in the back, the water ingress will be very, very manageable. So any damage they do here is really negligible, and the border doesn't end up getting on either, so absolutely under no pressure here. I did learn something from that though. So the rocks, they're gonna work to help position the ship, I just have to do it a little bit better. So I came out wide here, and then I'm going to point my nose back into the rocks. So if they want to get to me and keep pressure on me, they're going to have to try and cut in front of me, and that's going to put them into a really awkward position against the rocks, or they can just go behind me and the same thing will happen again, where really it's a non-event. So I've got them lined up perfectly here, and I do have a trick up my sleeve. I managed to get an anchor ball. So we're going to use this one here, and this is the now or never moment. I've got 1 chain shot left. I'm going to pump them with a few cannonballs. Unfortunately, they were turning, so it pointed them their broadside towards me, but I can grog ball them, and look at their next cannon shot. It goes directly into the water. That was a perfect grog ball. He teleports down the stairs to me, but I easily blunderbuss him. And having some experience running galleons, I know how disorientating and how bad fire can be. A single firebomb on a galleon can spread to so many different places at once. It makes it so much more dangerous compared to a sloop or a brig. So against a galleon, fire is 100% a legitimate strategy. So I get that fire on there to distract them. I knock their middle mast down again. That will distract them also. They're anchored, so that's another thing that's distracting them. And I'm pumping them full of holes. So I've killed one shot off before I anchor balled, and another one just jumped off then. So I know that they're short-manned on their ship. So I'm just dropping my sail so I can keep moving, reduce the risk of getting boarded. But this guy still manages to get on. Somehow that blunderbuss and that sword swipe through the stairs. Did you guys see that? That's definitely something I'm remembering for the future. You can swipe people through the stairs. Unfortunately, he knocks me off the ship here. But they're so focused on dropping the anchor because 95% of the time, that's the right thing to do. But it's just because these guys don't have hundreds of hours of experience like some of us others do. They drop the anchor when they shouldn't have. So that allows me to get back on the ship, kill them, and get my ship moving again.
He's still on the boat.
So there's now at least one dead, possibly another one in the water, so there might only be 2 or so people on their ship, which would be really good for me, and they've got all those other things on their ship to distract them. So I get myself stocked up, I get myself moving again, and unfortunately, it does look like they're moving there and they got their anchor up. But that means they wasted a lot of time being on fire, not repairing, taking on water while they were getting that anchor up. So I should be able to do some more damage to them here while I circle around and just keep that pressure on them. Don't let them get into a safe position. So while I'm circling around, take these shots and do what extra damage I can. And as appears to be a reoccurring theme of this video, I'm also about to run into a rock here. This is my expert helmsmanship coming into play. I go down and repair because I'm thinking I'm gonna have to board these guys to secure the sink. There's probably not gonna be a way to sink them without boarding them and keeping them off repairs. But lo and behold, as I round these rocks, their flaming mast behind the rocks there, it's stationary. So either they've anchored themselves or they've sunk. And I know which one is more likely here. And as we round the rock, we get to see the majestic sight of a galleon on fire sinking, all to a solo sloop. I was freaking over the moon with this. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, and you know for sure I'm going to try and do this again and again and again. It's probably not going to work 99% of the time, but that 1% of the time, it's going to be amazing. So after asking if any of them were still alive and wishing them a GG, I get the entirety of the loot off this ship, which was their single low-level emissary flag. That's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm still quite new at this solo sloop stuff, so if you've got any pointers, please do put them in the comments. I'm always looking to improve. Have a good one, guys, and see you on the seas.